Hello there everyone, I just emerged from my editing dungeon after the crew video. What now? How about I upload the rest of the school series? I mean, that would be pretty easy and nice and simple to do. Oh god. So about a year ago I had a history assignment where I had to research ancient Greece mythology, and I had to do what I do best, make an awkwardly long video about it. And just note that I am shocked at my voice as well.
Well, why don't we load this puppy up? Why won't it work? Why won't this work? Why won't you work, you dumb piece of... Oh, wait. It's a VHS. Xbox can't run that. Hey, yo! Do you want to learn about Greek mythology? Yeah! Now, before we get started, you get to pick one of the 5 biggest questions on Greek mythology and heroes. Who were the Greek gods? How were the Greek gods related to humans and each other? How did the Greeks worship the gods? What were the heroes of Greece? And finally, what were some common folklore? You picked who were the Greek gods. Yeah, I know that. The Greek gods were an important part of Greeks' lives, but who were these Greek gods? What were their powers? Well, to explain, we need to start at the top of the entity known as Chaos. Chaos is the empty abyss of the universe. After Chaos was Gaia and Euro. Just make a note that Gaia and Euro are not the offspring of Chaos, they just exist. Gaia is all life in the universe, and mainly this silly little rock called Earth. Euro is the embodiment of passion and love. The next step down is Titans. Euria, mountains, Oceanus and Thetis, ocean, and Uranus, the sky. We have Crius holding up the sky, Hyperon and Thea, the Titan of light, Theabe, the Titan of prophecy, like the Matrix. Wait, hold on. Is Zeus Neo? There's a titan for everything. Memory, mortal life, golden apples, person maker, and so much more. Then there are the Cyclops and Hector, hey John, how do you say this? No, wait, I got it. Hecachoronges. They control the weather, but they were so ugly they got put in the prison known as Tartarus. And next was the leader of the Titans, Kronos, who was so scared that his babies would kill him, he swallowed them whole. He took the babies from his sister wife Rhea and ate them up. Yeah, that's just disgusting. The 12 Olympians. We have the king of the gods, Zeus. When Zeus was a baby, he was sent out of the house so they wouldn't be eaten by Kronos. Now a fully grown god, Zeus took down Kronos by telling him to stop being a bad boy and forced him to cough up all of the fully grown gods. Zeus then waged war on the Titans and was victorious, sending the Titans to the naughty corner in Tartarus. This is how Zeus became the king of the gods with his wife Hera. The 12 Olympians. Poseidon, the sea god, Demeter, the harvester, Athena, the smart one, Artemis, the god of hunting, Apollo, the god of music, Hephaestus, the god of metal, Ares, the god of war, Hermes, the messenger, Aphrodite, the god of beauty, Hester, the god of fire. I am not joking, there is literally a Greek entity for everything. We're done. Are you still alive? Wow, you picked how were the Greek gods worshipped. The gods were in Greeks' everyday life, because if they didn't please the gods, they were in for a life of misery. You might have heard of the Olympics, but few people know that it originated in Greece, and even fewer people knew it was to celebrate Zeus. Every 4 years, the Olympics were held on the sacred land of Zeus, the land that Zeus liked. The Olympics was a time to be peaceful and honor Zeus. Music was played on this religious instrument called a lyre. There were also separate festivals about different gods, like Apollo or Dionysus. You didn't have to wait 4 years for the festivals to celebrate the gods. Ancient Greeks had prayer altars in their homes. But if you're a little hungry, then why not sacrifice an ox or a bull if you're in Crete and then eat the meat? The Greeks would do this at festivals or special meals, but leave the good parts to the gods. They're hungry. If you're feeling a little bit unwell, asking the gods for help is a great way to cure your wounds. Ancient Greeks would say thanks by making a mold of the part of the body that was healed as an offering to the gods. If you feel like you want a bigger place to worship the 12 Olympians than your house, why not go to the temple in a city-state? Each god owns at least one city-state, i.e. Athena owns Athens, Poseidon owns Corinth, Dionysus owns Socrates. Now I'm wondering, why did the Greek gods get worshipped so often? It's because of the belief of what happens when you die. The Greeks believe that when you die, your body is washed and you meet Thanatos, death. He takes you to a river where you have to pay up to cross it, because when you're dead, you still have to pay taxes. Ha ha ha. Taxes, am Am I right? The Greeks would plop a coin in the body's mouth so that they could pay to cross the river. The soul then got put through the test to see how nice they were to the gods. And that is why people worship the gods, to go to Greek heaven. My brain is full of information. We've talked about the gods, and now we're talking about how the gods are related to each other. Wow, here's a detailed family tree. At the top is Chaos, Gaia, and Euro. Uranus and Gaia had children, the Titans. The important ones being Rhea, Cyclops, Hecate, they got put in jail, and Cronus. Cronus decides to kill his dad Uranus, but ends up chopping his onions. Nice save. So Uranus's onions fell into the sea, and after a couple years, Aphrodite pops out. Gaia went to Cronus like, release your ugly brothers, please. So he ended up marrying his sister. They had some of the Olympic gods, but Cronus ate them. But Zeus fought back, and he won a battle against the Titans. So he's king now. Zeus and Hera had the rest of the 12 gods, along with the uncool ones. While this was going on, Cronus made this silly little thing called humans. But when Zeus won the war with the Titans, he remade humans, but made them unaging. Third time's the charm. Zeus makes the humans again, but normal. Now, sometimes the gods were a bit naughty. They would mess with humans. For example, they give humans visions of the futures, or powers, like King Midas. Sometimes the god would just pop by the temples like a neighbor popping around for lunch. But not only did the gods hang where the humans were hanging, they also... And Percy Jackson comes out. The gods and humans hung out a lot, not like friends, like worshippers. It's time for some stories and creepy creatures. Pandora was a person with a box. One god married her, in which she opened the box, and now we have plagues, diseases, and death. Come on. The Greeks believed that the gods resided on the top of the massive Mount Olympus, overlooking Greece. But folklore in Greece wasn't all sunshine and rainbows and gods living on mountains. The Minotaur, who was a half-bull, half-person, locked away in a labyrinth by its mother, Proserpine. The Minotaur eventually starts craving blood and killing people. Theseus then killed the Minotaur and everyone was happy. The three Gorgons. This includes Medusa. The Gorgons have living snakes for their hair and are so ugly they turn you to stone. Next we have Typhon, the child of Gaia, a serpent dragon thing. Echidna, part woman, part bird, part reptile, big. Siren, stood on rocks, sang to nearby sailors who crashed on the rocks. Srilla, half fish, half person. Trial is just a whirlpool of teeth. Or the mouth of Demogorgon. Lamia, half person, half bear. Watch out, the monster's gonna steal your kids in their sleep. Yeah, those are pretty scary. I can't sleep now. Well, I've squeezed every drop out of this Greek god rag, but there's one section I have to talk about. Why don't we move down from gods to the everyday Greek person? But Greek people who have done something amazing. I'm talking heroes. Have you heard of Homer? Not that Homer. This Homer, the author of popular works the Iliad and Odyssey. Never heard of them or Homer? Well, Homer was living in the 8th century BC in Greece. He pioneered the art of poetry and writing in general. Homer wrote two iconic pieces of literature. The Odyssey was about a king, Odysseus, returning home from the Trojan War to have no one remember him. It even has gods in it. The Iliad, the other piece Homer wrote, was about the Trojan War, but with gods. Yeah, Homer liked the gods. It was very influential for his time and even today. Have you seen that this is Sparta meme? Well, the person who said that was the almighty Leonidas, 540 BC to 480 BC. Leonidas was the king of Sparta after his brother who died in war. Leonidas was training up his troops for a war that he thought might happen. Well, good thing for him, it did happen. The Persians attacked. Sparta and the other city-states went to battle in the Battle of Thermopylae. Eventually, the Persians found a way around the mountain and attacked from behind. Leonidas told the other city-states to go home. He and his 300 Spartan men held back the Persian soldiers for 3 whole days. Sadly, everyone was killed but not forgotten. Do you play Fortnite? No. I don't know what that is, but I do know who King Midas is. If he's a hero or a villain, it's up to you. Here's the story. One day, King Midas saves Dionysus. So in return, the god gave him a wish. He wished that everything he touched turns into gold because he is greedy. The next day arrives. Midas touches his water glass and it turns to gold. Then he touches his brekkie and it turns to gold. And then he touches his daughter and she turns to gold. So he and his men tracked down Dionysus. So he watched his gold-touched items in the river and gave away his things to the poor. Don't be greedy. Next up is Perseus. Once upon a time, this king had a prophecy. Like the Matrix, is Zeus Neo? He had a vision that his son would kill him, but he had a daughter. He didn't want his daughter to have a kid, so he locked her in a box. Zeus saw her and was like, I'm gonna get in that box. 9 months later, Perseus existed. But the king didn't like that, so he locked Perseus' mother, Diana, and Perseus in a box to get rid of them. They make it to a fisherman who raises them. Now Perseus is a man. Diane and the king of the islands are getting married. But Perseus has no gift for the wedding. Perseus asks what he can do, and the groom sends him on a quest to get Medusa's head. He heads to this gang of old women called the Graeae, who shares one eye. Yoink! Perseus blackmails the gang into giving him the items and the location of the Gorgon's lair. He uses the mirror and slays Medusa while she's sleeping and runs off with her head. He then uses the head to kill a sea monster from this girl, his future wife, and then he killed his grandfather. Like the prophet said, "Is this Neo?" Last person was Pythagoras, who didn't believe this whole gods created the world thing, but instead believed that maths created the world. He also created Pythagoras' theorem, in which you can find the side of a right angle triangle by using this simple formula. First smallest side to the power of 2 plus second smallest side to the power of 2 equals the bigger side to the power of 2. And that concludes the video. Hope you enjoyed. I'm gonna go take a nap now.
Yes, I can finally read Percy Jackson. What?
Hey, I'm Rick Riordan. I'm gonna tell you all about Greek mythology.